At this point, the dollhouses are the dollhouses. Hi, hello everyone, my name is Jer and I am running on 3 hours of sleep. Today we're going to be talking about Canada's Drag Race All-Stars Episode 5, Win to Get In. Sometimes you win by getting in. This was a beefy episode with a lot of emotions to go around for everyone. And overall, I had a really great time with this semifinal episode. This is how you do a semifinal challenge with only 6 episodes in a season. When you've got a series that's this limited, you gotta make the most of your time. And that's exactly what episode 5 did. For our semifinal episode, our Canadian All-Stars must participate in a charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent gauntlet-style challenge similar to season 6, otherwise known as a test. For charisma, they'll be participating in the Snarch Girl. For uniqueness, a high-fashion doll photo shoot. For nerve, they'll be performing in an original song, and then talent culminates in a bottom 2 lip sync. This episode was jam-packed with content. There is so much to talk about. The majority of this episode I have positive critiques for, but I did struggle a little bit when it came to the judging, and we'll get to that in each one of the challenges. For anyone that watched my Canada Season 6 reviews, you know that I was a little grouchy about the gauntlet-style challenge they did there, because I thought that each queen should have progressed through every round and there should have been points allotted to them. Whoever had the most points at the end were gonna go to the finale and then everyone else would lip sync. Maybe a bottom 2 or bottom 3. I thought that would be fun. I think it works better in All Stars that each challenge awards someone with a win and they get to move on. They don't have to participate in the rest. Because it's All Stars, they've already theoretically paid their dues. And so I really liked the structure of this, and I would love to see more international series follow suit with this challenge formula, because I think you could integrate so many different challenges into each category. Smaller balls, there's jokes in there, comedy roasts, lip sync extravaganzas, more photo shoots, please more photo shoots, etc. Before we get into the review, make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And if you'd like to check out the Patreon, I will be including some cut content from this video. And also, if you are a Patreon member, you get exclusive access to all of my content before it hits here on YouTube, including That Sounds Gay podcast, which will be featuring Canada's Drag Race Season 4 starting this very Sunday. It's actually up right now. The eliminations this season have been beyond shocking, and even though I haven't really been thrilled that my favorites are going home, it's been refreshing to see an All-Stars that is not directly pushing someone. Every other season of US All-Stars, I've come to expect a front runner that the producers like is going to get pushed. I've come to expect that whoever seems the obvious winner is going to end up getting challenges laid out in their direction, and hook, line, sinker, green, yellow, red is a setup for them to win. So seeing queens like Michaela and Pythia going home before the semifinal episode doesn't feel good at all, but it's so different that I cannot help but be excited about what's gonna happen next, because nothing is expected. Tiffany being in the bottom basically every single week and making it to the semifinal is freaking iconic. So let's talk about the contestants. We've got Sammy Laundry, who has not won a challenge up until this point. She had a lot of storyline behind her that it was time for her to snag a win, because she's gotta do it. She made a huge impact in season 6. She's been excited to be here and show a lot of her elevation. And she only had to participate in one challenge this week, and that was in the charisma portion, which was to perform in the Snatch Game. I really enjoyed her performance as Celine Dion. She gave Brooke a run for her money, and showing her how you actually do Celine. Her vocal choice was hilarious. There's 2 different ways that you can play the Snatch Game. You're either so earnestly that character, you are them sitting in that room playing the Snatch Game, or you're a caricature of them. Then there's hybridizations of both of those, and then there's the outliers of the ones who are just bad. They don't get it. They cannot improv to save their lives. I kind of like that Sammy's character felt like an SNL skit. Like, they are aware that they're not the real one, but they're still playing it like they are. It was so earnest. It was so heartfelt. It was very funny. All of her jokes were solid, and I think she paid good tribute to Celine without making her a fool. I loved her joke of saying, oh well, I'm this year's Celine, and you are in this year, so I don't know about you yet, baby. I thought that was very funny. I love that she played off her Acadianisms and allowed herself to not speak English perfectly. It felt like a fully fleshed out characterization of how she pictures a drag version of Celine Dion. The only thing is, her makeup was a little villainous, and I thought her hair was a little flat. But I gotta say, Sammy was very, very lucky that she did not have to do the dollhouse segment because that look was boo freaking nasty. It was bad. Sammy had such a great redemption arc from season 6 where she had to do every single challenge of that gauntlet and ended up lip syncing at the very end. So going from having to do all CUNT challenges to only having to do charisma is kind of a sickening glow up. We've got Aurora Matrix, who also had some pretty big storyline this week. She came into the room finding out that no one was on her team last week. Going into this one, she was in kind of good spirits about it. She even said herself if she were in that position, she wouldn't have saved her. She would have made her sweat it out, maybe see if she could go home. I gained a lot of respect for Aurora not having any type of ego about being put in the bottom. I think it'd be very easy to get in your head, get in your own way, blame everybody else, and be externally mad at circumstances that put you in the bottom. She was so mature and so bright about it, and she didn't allow any of that to dilute her performance throughout the rest of the week. She had to participate in 2 challenges. One in the Snatch Game, where she had such a redemption from her last time on the show. When she got on Canada 4, I was ecstatic to see what she was gonna do for Snatch Game, and she played the cringiest baby character, Emperor Zhao, and I hated it. I wanted to throw up. I hate the I'm baby thing that Gen Zers were doing so fiercely at that time on TikTok, on Instagram, on socials. Like, you are not a baby. You are 25 years old, Diane. It is not cute to not know how to do your own laundry or cook your own food or be able to survive in the wild. Anyways, she was playing Olivia Chow, who is the mayor of Toronto. I thought her character was very funny. She had great energy in the Snatch Game. Aurora surprised me with how funny she was. She allowed herself to be free. She allowed herself to have a good time, and I think by choosing this route of this mayor who just is a good time gal, I think that's a great way to insert yourself into comedy by finding a lane that you already understand. As Rue always says to the queens, you don't have to reinvent the wheel is fine sometimes. Aurora is someone who's just a good time gal. She's not hysterically funny, but she's a good time, and you can giggle along with her with the things she says. And that was very much this character, Olivia Chow. She had great improvement from her last Snatch Game, and I think that's commendable. And the only runway category this week was called Dollhouse, which was in preparation for the Uniqueness Challenge, and that was to pose in a dollhouse style photo shoot. I enjoyed this little Bo Peep idea, but I struggle a little bit with the execution. I love the waist up. And this is something that I just talked about for my Drag Race Fronts review, if you want to go check that out. I call this Instagram drag. Drag that is really good from here up. It doesn't matter that I'm not wearing pants. I'm wearing overalls, by the way. If all you can see is this, that's all that matters. And a lot of designers, a lot of drag queens are kind of just focused on this part right now. They don't really think too much about the lower half, and this is a little bit of that. The black and white stripe material is giving Tim Burton doll. It's giving James and the Giant Peach. I can't explain why, but it's cool. It's giving a creepy doll that you would find at one of those lot sales, and it low-key has a curse on it, but you're gonna bring it back home anyway. The shape of that donut poof around the body is sickening. I just don't like the petticoat. I could have forgiven this look in its entirety if there was just a ruched lace skirt or just a black lace Harajuku girl style ruffle skirt. One of the other, but there's both. To me, it's giving Antonina Nutshell when she had her puswacha out and needed to borrow a skirt from Indigo, otherwise they were gonna see all of her cookies. These just look kind of like nasty panties, and I don't respond positively to that. And then scrolling down a bit more, chunky white socks on black lace leggings. Not really for me. The makeup is sickening though. Overall, it's a soft slay. In the challenge, she chose this wide shot, which I think is cute and playful, but I didn't think that the posing was that editorial. I didn't think it was that striking. Like, yes, it was a good pose. I gotta give her that. It was a good pose, but was it that editorial? That I don't think so. I would have given the win for this challenge to someone else. But I do think it worked out storyline wise that Aurora got a win before Nerra, because the two of them have been at odds this week and a little bit of last, and I think that's going to end up resolving itself next week. I can't wait to see how this turns out because I know the producers are going to be chomping at the bit to try to get a Black Velvet Part 2 to happen and see who really comes out victorious. Aurora's journey has been fabulous to watch this season, and I was really happy to see her progress to the finals and not have to lip sync at the very end. I do just think 2 others in the room were slightly stronger than her in this challenge. I think you could make a justification for Aurora winning the Snatch Game, but I think that Sammy was better, so it's tough. Then we've got Jada, Shada, Hudson, who was also hungry for a win this week. And Jada was going through it by the time that we get to the nerve portion. In the Snatch Game, she chose to do T.S. Madison, and I find it interesting that for season 6 of Canada's Drag Race, they were down Cara Milk's throat that she chose to do a character that Shea Coulee did in All Stars 5. But here, there are 3 repeats, and there was, do you hear that? Not a word that there were 3 repeats. We had T.S. Madison done and won by Silky Nutmeg Ganache, and that wasn't a storyline at all. We had Celine Dion done and flopped by Brooklyn Heights. And we have Bretman Rock done and flopped by Aura Mayari in season 15. 3 duplicates in 1 Snatch Game is insane. I appreciate that since no one is going home, they could take a big swing. So maybe Jada played this character because she knew she'd do well. Maybe she thought it would be good enough to get through. I wish that she hadn't played it so safe. And the judges mentioned in critique that her TS was just Jada at a certain point, and I would agree with that. She started out with some great memetry. I really appreciated that she did her homework, she knew what those lines were, but it was giving when Alyssa was just reading lines from the Mommy Dearest script. Brooke had to feed her the Rickon line. And even when Jada leaned into it, she didn't commit fully to it. There was just a lot more that she could have done, especially referencing TS being a judge on Drag Race, being a little more intense with the line delivery, being a little funnier. There were other things that she could have done, I think, to punch this character up and make it stronger. And then for her dollhouse look, she chose to be a voodoo doll because she wanted to pull a little bit more of her background. And while I appreciate that, this look is a lot. I went online and checked, and a lot of people are living for this look. And I get it. Jada is a maximalist this season, but I am so over corsets on things. They did an entire compilation about how many times Kimmy Couture wore a bodysuit with chiffon flowing behind her, and Jada's literally put a corset on everything so far this season and has not been clocked for it. I can't handle this anymore. And it sucks because this is arguably the coolest corset on an over stylized garment that she's worn all season. I love that corset because it looks like a monster mouth. This is actually genuinely frightening, and I respond positively to that for the ooky spooky of it all. We do not see enough half pearls represented, but they disappear in the wides and are really only visible once you get super close up. And those being a critical point of those tendril tentacles that are all wrapped around the body, that almost muddies the garment a bit. And the tendrils especially muddy the garment. They're supposed to add volume, I think, because this is such a simple look. It's a bodysuit with paint strokes on it. But ultimately, I think they just distract from those intricate details. I honestly don't know what I would tear off from this, but something needed to be removed for it to be a little more effective. Maybe only done 2 or 3 strategically placed pins, one sticking out of the tit, one out of the hip, and then one right above the knee. And then had those just be the 3 standouts. Maybe that would have helped a little bit. It's a soft chop for me. In the challenge, she was kind of giving me life. And can I say, this photographer, so sexy. If you look like him, at me. This was like Dilf Nini Coco. Jesus Christ, he was hot. He could me all up. In the challenge, she was giving concerned, and I was kind of living for the wrong reason. All of her constipation sounds were alarming. When she was like screaming and shaking her head, it was like me before fiber supplements. Her energy was manic. I didn't really respond to it. I didn't like her photo. Jada wins the nerve category, which I wholeheartedly did not agree with. I have a controversial opinion about this one, but we'll get there. The premise is that they have to deliver a show-stopping performance to this number called Spotlight. I thought it was gonna be the RuPaul version, and I was like, okay, cool. I wonder how they're gonna insert themselves into these lyrics. Lo and behold, it's an original song, and I liked that a lot. It was theatrical. It had some great musicality to it. There was a lot of room for them to build lyrics. And I can only assume that they recorded this ahead of time so that they just had to rehearse the lines they already wrote, get them ready, to either perform live or to lip sync, whatever it was they did. To me, Jada was a bit hokey pokey with her lyrics. I thought they were a little goofy, and I wasn't particularly compelled by them. Jada's a great performer, and I'm always magnetized to her energy, but this just didn't really do a lot for me. While I completely understand why Jada was feeling out of sorts and was cracking under the pressure of all of these challenges and being so close to the end and not getting her flowers, it's tough because Tiffany's been in the bottom every week, has been very much overlooked by the judges, and has not and probably never will get flowers from them. Jada at least has been high and doing well. And not to recycle an overused quote, but that's a lot of emotion for safe. Then we've got Nerra Nuff, who was trying very hard this week to keep up the momentum from last week. And Nerra broke my heart. Broke it. Nerra, I know you watched one of my videos, and if you're watching this one right now, know that I think that you are enough. And I am such a stan, and I love you so much, and I think you're brilliant. And I hope you know that you have brought so much joy and light to so many people around the world. Please ever feel like you're not the brightest star in the room. When she said that she thought she may not be the best girl in the room, I legit started tearing up. That sucks to feel like you are not good enough. That sucks to feel like everybody else is better than you. That is an agonizing feeling. She was portraying Connor McDavid for Snatch Game. Calling Brooke Rock right from the beginning was funny as I loved her having an enema. And then when she did that vocal change midway through where she stopped the butch voice and code switched into immediately big ol' I was entertained. She had great moments here. I love just about everything she did. It's so tough because Sammy was really good in the Snatch Game and Aurora had a great redemption, but Nerra was also super good. Overall, this was a strong Snatch Game and Nerra kept up with the others. And I gotta say, as someone who is a big fan of smaller Snatch Games, can we just get top 5 Snatch Games all the time? Let's remove some of the filler queens and just let Snatch Game be a more compressed challenge. Tack it along in the semi-final with something like a ball or a photo shoot. Let that be the compulsory thing, because these giant 14-person Snatch Games are miserable to watch. There's more unfunny people than are funny, and they're just not a good time for anybody. For Dollhouse, Nerra is presenting this Alice in Wonderland concept. I think she looks really pretty, but she kind of went the exact opposite route that Jada did, where Jada put everything on her costume. Nerra said, let me just take everything off of it. There was no rhinestoning, there was no excess, there was nothing to bring it to that next level of couture, and I really wanted to see that. Counterpoint, the prompt of this challenge is an editorial photo shoot. And in a photo shoot, the goal of your outfit shouldn't be to be loud. It should be to have something sleek that can be caught on camera well. And I think that's what this was. It photographed extremely well. I love the picture that she took. I love how she was cognizant of some of her body issues, that her nipples were sticking out. She didn't want to have a repeat of her entrance from season 4. Her posing is whimsical, it's fun. She had a great shot. I think this was her win, and I personally would have given her the win here. Before the performance, she was uplifting Jada and being there for her in that moment, and she seemed so excited that Jada got to move on, even though the expense of that was that she was in the bottom too and had to lip sync for her life. She was a great sister from my viewpoint here, and in the challenge, I thought she had great energy. Nerra is someone who is so fun to watch perform. I could just watch her do anything and I know she's gonna be a good time because she's got that confidence, and I really loved her a lot. In the Lip Sync for Your Life, they had to perform Into You by Ariana Grande. I'm editing another video where I react to lip syncs that have been done multiple times, and I've been compiling a list for part 4 of that endeavor. This is getting tacked on there. Who do y'all think did it better, them or Monet and Valentina? Nerra was throwing a lot of spaghetti at the wall and seeing what stuck. She pulled out all of her usual tricks, and there was a lot going on, but I would be lying to all of you if I said I didn't live for it. There are some queens that can do every trick in the book and it works, like Nerra Nuff, and there are queens that throw every trick in the book out of the wall and I hate it. See someone like Melinda Verga, I love when she does stuff like that, but when Arizona Brandy does it, I'm like, no, stop. There's some queens like Nerra who really can sell everything. Her movement looks extremely choreographed and somehow completely improv. Nerra has played a damn good social game this year, and I'm gonna be so real, I kinda wanna see her win. She has the underdog story going for her right now. Someone who is so confident but does have some self-doubts, has been delivering some really great progress from her last time on the show, has pushed herself in directions we didn't see her in Canada for, and has a pretty solid amount of tension with Aurora. I think the two of them are going to be top 2. I know that it's going to be Aurora that's going to win, but I want it to be Nerra. And then the queen that went home this week was Tiffany and Co. I am so gagged and gooped that she made it this far, and it's iconic. Y'all can't say nothing. In the Snatch game, she was playing Bretman Rock. I just don't think that Bretman's a funny person to play. And again, this is the second time this bitch has been done, and it was unfunny both times. What does that say about Bretman? I think Tiffany relied too much on catchphrases. The constant periods, the quick witty catchphrase, you know what I mean, just stopped being funny after the first one. I don't even think the first one was funny. And Brooke was trying to help Tiffany. Anytime that Brooke threw something at her, Tiffany was like, no, I don't want to catch that. Not one thing was funny, and it's unfortunate. She said something in the intro about how the queens just don't know what she's capable of, but we're in the semifinal. They should fully know what she's capable of, and I think they do know what she's capable of. But Aurora saying maybe your best just isn't good enough was so devastatingly. For her dollhouse look, Tiffany was providing a copyright-free Labubu. She was presenting a Tiff Boo Boo. She wanted to show off her vitiligo, and I think that is beautiful to celebrate that on the main stage. She's done so already. She's talked about her custom breastplate, and we got to see some custom tights this episode and really highlight that. I give her a lot of credit for being so vulnerable in front of millions of people in the world, because sometimes when you open yourself up to things that make you different, even if they're not bad, that can cause fans to act crazy towards you. So I give her a lot of props for talking about this so candidly and being so genuine about it. The color of this look is stunning on her. I think she looks excellent in tweed, which I'm a sucker for. I was enjoying scrolling down the look to catch all those little details. That chunky, plasticky looking heart necklace with the sickly silver color that's on all the toys right now. I need that charm belt. Need it. That's so fun. The doll head was a little cursed and evil, but also Labubus really are not for me. So I just might not be connecting to this because they just don't speak to my spirit. It's a slay of a look. For her photo shoot, when she almost fell off the chair and then kicked that lamp, the spirit of CC Superstar entered her body and knocked over stuff. It was beautiful. I thought her photo was super cute, but the judges really nailed it. That breastplate was distracting because of the crinkles in it. And I think that's what's tough about breastplate illusions, is you have to be careful about how you're posed in them because they collapse on themselves quite easily. I loved her photo though. She looked beautiful. She looked like she was having a good time. But where she really shone for me was in Spotlight. Her immediate line starting her segment grabbed me by the throat, her other hand on my nuts, and was yanking me into the performance. I loved her here. I'm not even gonna lie. Tiffany was fully my winner for this challenge. And it's funny because I think that of all the struggles she's had opening up and being vulnerable and being able to connect with the challenges, she pulled it out in the 11th hour. And I felt this way about Cara Milk in season 6. She had not been performing stunningly all season, even if I was standing. And it was in that last moment that she woke up and figured it out. And it always sucks to see when the girls just cannot get there until the end. But I think that Tiffany did it. She understood, I think, the theatrics of this song. She captured that musicality. I really love what she did. She did it for me. Tiffany had a strong, commanding presence, and I was obsessed with her. I fully would have given her the win in this challenge. Sue me. And in the lip sync, I think that Tiffany was able to capture that power in silence. There's something to say about doing every trick in the book, but there's also something to say about standing and delivering a fierce, earnest performance and not having to do everything. She did enough stunts, she did enough tricks, but the power was in how she presented it. She captured the essence of this song and was able to transfer that through the way that she does drag. She was able to harness her own unique power and give us a lip sync that was different than what we saw from Nerra. There was just as much opportunity, I think, for Tiffany to win here as there was for Nerra. But Tiffany has not been on the radar of the judges. I don't think that they see it for her. And I think this was probably their only chance to remove her from the competition because they've tried again and again and again, which sucks. In my personal opinion, I think that it probably could have shaken out to be Jada and Aurora in the bottom two, with Aurora sending Jada home. But it's also tough because I liked all of them at different points. I'm really glad that Tiffany got to be here for such a long time and show so much more of what she can do about how her mind works, how her drag looks, because her run in Canada 5 was a little short. And I remember people being so excited that she was there, so ready to see how she was going to present herself, and then sadly did not get the experience they thought they were going to. This challenge was very fun. I loved the gauntlet style of this. I would love to see this incorporated in other franchises. Next week, it looks like the queens are going to be reunionizing as well as doing their final lip sync Lollapalooza. I cannot wait to see how that all shakes out. I'm anticipating that it's going to be Nerra and Aurora top 2, and they're going to have the ultimate producer fantasy of this lip sync rematch. There's a lot of reasons for Aurora winning this season, and I'm so glad that we've all gotten to experience her glow up and her adjustments since last time. There's just something about Nerra this time around that I'm really resonating with. It's like a Detox and Alaska situation. You want Alaska to win because she's that girl, but Detox is doing it, and Detox is just as present. It's hard to say, but I do think it's in the cards for one of the two of them. What did y'all think about this episode? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching this season of Canada's Drag Race All-Stars with me, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it all ends. Keep an eye out for my Down Under vs. the World review, as well as my Latina Royale review. Those will be coming up very soon, if not already out. Make sure to check out that Patreon if you'd like to support the channel, and I will see y'all on the flip.